My dear friends, I'd like you to imagine that we're taking a slow walk together, no rush, just an easy pace that lets every step sink in. With each breath, we're moving closer to a realm inside you that can't be shaken loose or barged into. In this place, your peace can't be snatched, your energy can't be siphoned, and toxic people, no matter how relentless, find no latch to grab hold of. The shift I'm talking about isn't loud. It doesn't require you to armor up or raise your voice. It's a subtle but radical turn inward that makes you the undisputed ruler of your own inner world. Sovereign. Untouchable. Free. So here's the first gentle but piercing question: why do toxic people get under your skin so deeply? The honest answer, more often than we'd like to admit, is that somewhere, consciously or by habit, we're handing them permission slips. We invite them into our mental living room, offer them front row seats in our emotions, and then feel surprised when they rearrange the furniture. Pause here. Really let that land. The very moment you revoke their access, when you close the gates to your thoughts, feelings, and sacred inner sanctuary, their grip begins to loosen like sand sliding through an open palm. But how exactly do we reach that level of calm detachment without turning into stone statues or hermits in a cave? There's only one honest road, a cleansing that starts from the inside out. All the outer chaos, the arguments, mind games, passive-aggressive jabs, blatant disrespect, is usually echoing some unresolved vibration within us. Toxic folks have a radar for unhealed wounds, hidden fears, and that not-so-secret hunger for validation. It's like sharks scenting a drop of blood in a vast ocean, they swim right toward it. Here's the liberating truth: the solution isn't found in fighting the outside world, it's discovered by purifying your interior one. Picture your inner life as a quiet temple. In that temple you get to choose the atmosphere: candles or fluorescent lights, chanting or stillness, open doors or the hush of closed ones. Step into this temple and make a rare, sacred decision: choose silence over reaction, peace over noise, and unwavering presence over toxic projections. You might wonder, won't silence make me look weak? Won't they just press harder? Only if your silence is laced with fear. Real silence, clean, grounded silence, isn't empty, it's full of clarity. Think of a mountain, it doesn't need to prove its strength. It simply is, and storms break themselves against it. The same applies to you. When you're rooted, still, and self-aware, toxic personalities suddenly have nothing to feed on. They thrive on emotional turbulence, on your defenses and explanations. But when you step out of the drama and refuse to duel in their arena, their swords clang against thin air. That, my friends, is authentic power. The Shaolin tradition puts it this way: while the body must be strong, the mind must be stronger, centered, aware, and unmoved. A strong body shields you, a still mind emancipates you. Freedom isn't the absence of problems, it's the refusal to let someone else's storm shake your internal sky. Picture someone hurling insults or baiting you into conflict. Their goal is to drag you into their swirling darkness, to make their chaos your chaos. But if you remain steady, eyes soft, breathing slow, they're forced to confront their own emptiness. They can't snack on your energy because you're not serving any. You've left the arena and taken the buffet with you. Let me ground this in a quick story. A young disciple once approached a master, shoulders drooping with heartache. "Teacher," he sighed, "I try my best to be gentle, but people keep twisting my kindness into weakness. My silence only seems to invite more cruelty." The master replied, "The issue isn't their cruelty, it's the noise tucked inside your silence. You're still aching for their approval. That hunger leaks through every quiet moment. True silence is powerful, not passive." The master instructed him to cut the invisible cord that kept him tethered to other people's validation. "Stop pouring your life force into those who feed on your peace," he said. "Withdraw, not in bitterness but in sacred stillness, and observe." The disciple did just that. Weeks of inner work, meditation, and wound clearing followed. When he finally walked back into the same rooms that once bruised his spirit, he said almost nothing. Yet they felt everything. His energy no longer bent or begged. The very people who once poked him retreated, not because he pushed back but because he no longer needed their approval to feel whole. That is the heart of what we're unpacking here. This isn't a life hack or a one-week challenge. It's a spiritual practice, a change in frequency that redefines every encounter. And it starts the moment you decide that your peace is not a negotiable commodity on someone else's bargaining table. So I'll leave you with 3 gentle but firm reflections to carry until we meet again. Where in your life are you still granting backstage passes to people who drain you? Name it. Awareness is step 1. What unhealed wound inside you is silently calling those personalities toward you? That's not blame, that's empowerment. When you see it, you can heal it. Can you sit in pure stillness, no explanations, no defenses, and trust that your calm is stronger than their chaos? Practice that in small moments first, a breath before a reply, a pause instead of a rant. We're only just opening the door. In the next segment, we'll dig deeper into the practical mechanics of cleansing the inner temple, rituals, mindset shifts, and daily habits that make your peace unshakable. Until then, hold this simple mantra close: my silence is not empty. It's full, alive, and mine alone. Now that we've cracked open the door to this deeper peace, let's walk a little further. We're not rushing, we're remembering. Remembering that your inner world isn't a hallway for strangers to walk through. It's a sanctuary. A sacred space. And your greatest task isn't to keep toxic people out, but to tend to that space so completely, so lovingly, that they no longer recognize a doorway in. Let's go back to something simple but revolutionary: your energy is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to it. Think of your energy like a garden. When you overwater weeds, they grow wild and choke the flowers. But when you become mindful, when you pull back and start nurturing only what nourishes, you begin to reclaim something you didn't even realize you were giving away. So how do you reclaim that garden? Step 1, withdraw, not in resentment, but in reverence. When someone triggers you, it's tempting to react, to explain yourself, defend your point, prove your worth. But that's exactly the hook. Toxic people thrive on your need to be understood. They poke where it still hurts because they can sense the bruise. But once you step back, not with drama, not with sarcasm, but with stillness, they lose their grip. You no longer dance to their rhythm. You choose your own. And this withdrawal isn't cold. It's actually the warmest thing you can do for yourself. It's saying, I choose to protect my spirit, even if it disappoints someone else. You're not abandoning anyone. You're simply refusing to abandon yourself. Step 2, cleanse your inner narrative. Toxic people don't just attack your peace, they amplify the stories already whispering in your head. Maybe it's that quiet voice that says, I'm only valuable when I'm needed, or, if I don't respond, I'll be seen as weak. These are the hooks they use. That's why the real healing work is internal. Begin by noticing those voices. Are they yours, or were they planted by someone long ago? Every time you feel compelled to prove your worth, ask, to whom am I still trying to prove it? Sometimes, it's not even the person in front of you. Sometimes, it's a memory, an old wound, a younger version of you still yearning to be seen. That's why silence is so powerful. It creates space for those buried voices to rise up, not to haunt you, but to be healed. And as they surface, don't judge them. Just listen. Hold them like you would a crying child. Let your breath be the cradle. Let your awareness be the warmth. Healing doesn't come from pushing pain away, it comes from loving it into transformation. Step 3, master the pause. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space, your entire life can shift. When someone shames you, pause. When someone provokes you, pause. When someone tries to bait you into their chaos, pause. And in that pause, ask yourself, what would peace do right now? Sometimes peace says nothing. Sometimes peace walks away. Sometimes peace smiles and lets the moment pass like clouds in a windy sky. The more you honor that pause, the more you train your nervous system to anchor in peace, not panic. This is where the deep spiritual practice begins. Because let's be honest, anyone can stay calm in a calm room. But can you be calm when the room is loud? When the insults fly? When they mock your stillness and test your limits? That's the arena where spiritual warriors are forged. And that brings me to something that might sound simple but takes real courage to live. You do not need to be liked. You do not need to be understood. You do not need to explain your healing to those who are committed to misunderstanding it. Your job is not to be digestible to toxic people. Your job is to be whole. And sometimes wholeness looks like walking away quietly. Sometimes it looks like unfollowing without warning. Sometimes it looks like not texting back. Not because you're petty, but because you've outgrown the need to be included in spaces that drain you. Let me offer you an image. Picture yourself as a candle that once flickered anxiously in the wind. Every harsh word made your flame tremble. Every glance of judgment made you dim. But now, something's changed. You've stopped relying on others to shield your flame. You've become the flame and the shelter. The flicker is now a steady burn. You don't need to shine for anyone else, you're here to stay lit for yourself. And here's the beautiful twist, toxic people sense this shift. They may not understand it consciously, but energetically, they feel it. They feel the walls they used to push have become mountains. They feel the buttons they used to press no longer light anything up. They feel their games fall flat. And they retreat, not because you fought them, but because you stopped playing. That is the miracle of inner sovereignty. It's not flashy. It's not loud. But it's potent. And it changes the entire room without a single word. As you walk this path, some people will misunderstand your silence. Let them. Some will call your peace avoidance. Let them. Some may even try harder to provoke you. Let them try. Your only job is to remain in your center. And when the urge to explain yourself rises up, pause. Breathe. Smile softly. And remember this, your peace doesn't need a press release. It only needs your protection. So let's come back to the temple inside you. Sit in it now. Feel its quiet. Let your breath echo through its halls. Let the noise outside fade. You are home. Not everyone gets to enter this space. It's yours. And it's sacred. In the final part, we'll dive into what it truly means to carry your peace into the world, not just as protection, but as power. As a light that expands naturally, without effort or fear. And how to walk into any room, any relationship, any challenge, not with defense, but with depth. But for now, sit with this truth, I don't have to fight for my peace. I only have to return to it. We've come a long way, through stillness, shadow, and the sacred act of reclaiming your energy from what no longer serves. But now we arrive at the most luminous part of the path, the return. Not a return to who you were, but a return to the world as someone no longer hardened by hurt, but softened by healing. The truth is, you don't rise above toxic people by winning arguments or proving your worth. You rise by becoming so anchored in your own peace that their chaos can't move you. You become like a lighthouse, still, steady, shining, and a lighthouse never chases ships, it simply holds its light. In everyday life, this looks like walking into rooms where you once shrank and standing tall, not to dominate, but simply to be. It means speaking less but with more clarity, loving without clinging, helping without losing yourself, listening without absorbing someone else's chaos. You stop negotiating your peace. You start embodying it. And when that happens, your presence becomes your message. Not your words. Not your explanations. Just the energy you carry. You enter a conversation and people feel the shift. They might not know what's changed, but they feel the depth. They feel the boundary. They feel the stillness. And those who once drained you, they feel the door has closed. Not slammed in anger, but gently, firmly shut to anything that doesn't honor your light. This is when the leaking stops. No more rescuing. No more editing your truth for comfort. No more managing dysfunction, hoping it becomes healthy. You remember now, your soul was never a rehab center, it's a sanctuary. And yes, when you begin living like this, space will open up. At first, it might feel lonely. You'll notice who stops calling. Who no longer feels at ease around your new calm. Let them go. Because what feels like loss is actually clearing. It's space being made for real growth, real peace, and real connection. But that only comes when you stop dimming yourself. When you stop watering what only grows weeds in your soul. So let this be your vow: I do not chase. I do not beg. I do not bend my light to be loved. I stand in who I am. I give from overflow, not obligation. I walk in peace, and that peace becomes my shield. And on the hard days, and yes, they will come, return to your breath. Because the breath is always the bridge. Breathe deep into your belly. Let your body remember, I am safe here. I am not in danger. I do not need to fight. I only need to be. That's the difference between performing peace and truly living it. Performing peace is for show. Living peace just is. It just breathes. Let me share a story, quiet, but powerful. There was a wise woman in a village torn by drama. Gossip, anger, arguments, everywhere. Yet she moved through it all like water, silent, peaceful, unbothered. People tried to provoke her. Mocked her. Insulted her stillness. But she never reacted. One day, a child followed her and asked, "Why don't their words hurt you?" She smiled and said, "If someone tries to give me a gift, and I don't accept it, who does it belong to?" The child paused, then said, "It belongs to them." She nodded. Exactly. And that is the quiet wisdom I hope you carry forward. You don't have to accept every invitation into conflict. You don't have to unwrap every insult. You don't have to carry projections that were never yours. Just keep walking. Keep breathing. Keep being. And in that way, you become a living revolution, silent, but unstoppable. Let this be the moment you rise, not with fire, but with light. Not with defense, but with depth. Not with resistance, but with anchored peace. Because here's what's true, you were not born to be drained. You were not born to carry storms that aren't yours. You were born to remember who you are, a presence so full of peace, it quietly shifts everything it touches. So let them say what they will. Let them do what they must. You return to your breath. You return to your center. You return to your truth. Because your peace isn't just a practice, it's your power. And from this moment on, you protect it like the sacred flame it is. Let your stillness speak louder than their noise. Let your calm disrupt their chaos. Let your silence teach the loudest lesson of all: you are no longer available for anything that dishonors your soul. You are not a candle they can blow out. You are the sun. Now go live like it.